All right, this morning's video is going to be about modeling division. So in your notebook, please go ahead and write down what I'm doing on my whiteboard. Okay, model division. So modeling how to solve division when they're not going to be necessarily always equal. Our big vocabulary word for this is going to be remainder. There will be problems where we have a remainder, and so we will talk about what that means. But the whole thing is we're going to be modeling division, and I did that a little bit in last week's videos, but this is really going to be leading into finding our quotient, which is the answer to our division problem, okay? All right, so with that, what I am going to do is set up a number using base 10 blocks. So we're going to model division using base 10 blocks. So that's what these are here, okay? And I am going to model a certain number, and then we're going to divide it into a certain amount of groups. Okay, so I'm going to set up 84. So in your notebook, it might take you a little bit of extra time, okay? But what you can do is draw your different base 10 blocks as I'm not putting this up here. Okay, so if I were you, I would go ahead and draw your 10 sticks that I have here. So there are 10 ones inside of one stick. I have 8 of them for the 84, and then I have 4 little leftover ones over here for the 84. Okay. Okay, so after you've drawn it in your notebook, so I push pause while you draw and then push play so that way you can do what I am going to be doing to model division with these base 10 blocks. Once you have this drawn in your notebook, now you're ready to begin with the modeling that I am getting ready to do. I'm going to divide 84 into 4 equal groups. Okay, 4 equal groups. I'm going to start with the 8 tens that are here though. I'm going to pretend like these 4 ones over here are not there for the time being. So they're not really here, and I'm going to divide my 8 tens into 4 equal groups first. Okay, so I'm going to do that by grouping them. Okay, so in your notebook, you're going to want to draw 2 of those tens into one group each, since we're dividing our 8 tens into 4 equal groups. Okay? All right, now, after I've divided my 8 tens into those 4 groups, now I can take my extra ones and put them into a group each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that one of these is going to go into each of my groups. Okay? Right? So you could do something like that. Now I can actually pick this up and move it to each of the groups to divide them out. Okay? So now I look and ask myself some questions. How many ones are in each group? 1. Okay. How many tens and ones are in each group? There are 2 tens, 1, 1. Okay. So write a number sentence to show the division that I've just done. Okay, so let's write that number sentence just below our model. We started with 84 base 10 blocks. We divided them into 4 equal groups, and that gave us 2 tens and 1 1 in each group. Well, that equals out to be the number 21. So my quotient is 21. Well, perfect. That was nice and easy to group equally into 4 equal groups. What happens when we do not have a multiplication or a division problem that divides into equal groups? So I'm going to take this off and erase my board, and you can just keep going in your notes, okay? So Go down to the next part of your page where it's blank. Now we're going to do a problem using our base 10 blocks that is using our vocabulary word up here, a remainder. Remainder is when you have leftovers, extras that don't fit in equally into your groups. Okay? I'm going to start out with having the number 65. So I'm going to put 6 tens out here. 5, 6, and then 5 ones. Okay, so that's the number 65. I'm going to start by first dividing them into 2 groups. I'm going to start with my tens though. So I'm going to pretend like my ones are not there for the time being and divide only my tens into 2 equal groups. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like these are not here and divide these up. Now, before you continue on into the video, please make sure that you have these drawn and draw them quickly. I don't need you to be exact and perfect. This is a quick draw. Please follow those directions. Push play once you have all of these drawn so that way you can divide them into the 2 groups. Okay, so you have this drawn on your paper. You are ready to go. We are going to divide these into 2 equal groups starting with our tens. Okay, now I can move these into the 2 equal groups like that easily. You cannot. So since you have a drawing, what you would do is take 3 of them and separate it into one group, and then take my other 3 and separate it into another group, since we're making it into 2 equal groups. Okay, so I noticed that I have 3 tens in each group. Now I'm going to take my ones and divide them equally as I can. Okay, so in going ahead and doing that, I'm going to place 1 in each and continue until I have no more ones. Okay, well, I notice that I have 1 left over here, and when I'm dividing, I want to be equal. So I can't just place this one over here into this first group, then I wouldn't have one to place over here in the second group as well. It has to be equal when we're dividing. So this one little extra needs to just stay over to the side. It doesn't divide it equally into the 2 groups, okay? All right, now in your notebook, you'd want to do like the arrows, okay? You need to show that 2 of our ones are going into one group and another 2 are going into the second group, and that we have 1 left over. Okay? Okay, so here's our questions that we're going to ask. How many ones are in each group? 2. How many ones are left? 1. Write a number sentence to show the division. Okay, so here's what that remainder, and this right here is the remainder. This one piece left over is our remainder. So here's what this equation looks like, this division equation, starting with the number I had total, which was 65. I divided the 65 into 2 equal groups, and it turned out to not be as equal as we probably had wanted it. I did end up with 3 tens and 2 ones in each group, so that equals out to be 32. Then I had 1 left over, and that we know is called a remainder, and we show it with an R1. So this division equation is 65 divided by 2 equals 32, remainder 1. All right, ladies and gents, now we're ready to do our whole class. Please go do some extra math.